Hi guys, Choate with Choate Engineering Performance. We're going to take a little bit of time and do a installation video on the self-oiling valve covers. When you receive the valve covers, you're going to also receive an installation manual, but a picture says 1,000 words and videos are even better. So we're going to go into what you're going to need to do. There's some parts that are going to need a little bit of modification in order to make these things fit. But if you'll follow this installation guide, you'll find that it's actually going to be pretty easy. So let's go ahead and get into it. Okay, all right. So the first thing we're going to do is put the valve cover gasket on. Now there's a difference in the valve cover gaskets for the left side and the right side of the engine, and how we're going to know, it's really kind of difficult because there's really some identifying features that are hard to kind of see on a valve cover, especially when it comes to you, like this, okay? But you're going to take your valve cover gasket and lay it out on your valve cover, and there's a few things I like to do on the then this is on the passenger side, and you'll notice on the passenger side it actually has the port that's going to be for your oil fill. So I like to lay it out and see there's 3 bumps on this valve cover gasket that is going to be identifiable as far as for the top. So we're going to lay the valve cover gasket and find those locations. We're going to push the valve cover in and just make sure that it seats all the way around. If you don't have it seated completely, and you go to torque it down, you can cause a gasket to leak. So you just want to make sure that that is sealed in good. And this gasket fits really nice in here. So it's really not difficult to do, but it's a critical thing. I would suggest buying new valve cover gaskets, but they are pretty thick. So the factory ones are not really prone to leaking or problematic. Now there's some things that we're going to talk about when we get going about some major problems with the factory setup. And one of the major problems with the factory setup is obviously the very reason why you're buying valve covers in the first place, and that's the lack of oiling. However, with that lack of oiling, they didn't make any real provision for you in the cylinder heads for oil to drain back down to the block. So there's some things that you're going to need to do to make sure that they seal, and we'll talk about that in a minute. Okay, so we've got this valve cover seated, and it's ready to go. It's ready for installation. But before we install, we need to go over to the engine. We've got the valve covers off. So we're going to go over to the engine, and I'm going to show you some things that you're going to have to do in order to make sure that this seats down. Now, in our quest for making this as low a profile as we possibly could, because in the 6.4, there's really not a lot of room for a valve cover. I mean, it's very compact. That's the reason why they didn't put these in E-Series engines, because the engine bay itself just does not give a lot of room for anything outside the engine. So because of that, we're going to look at the wiring harness on the fuel rail pressure sensor, and we're going to want to modify that slightly so that the valve cover will sit all the way down. We get a lot of phone calls on this, and this is the reason for the video. So let's take a look at that in just a second. All right, so now we're looking at the passenger side of the 6.4 engine. And there's a couple of things that we're going to look at, and we want to make sure that when we put this engine down, or excuse me, when we put the valve cover on the engine, there is a rail that's actually sitting right here. And on that rail are going to be your ports or your orifices for the oil to go right down on top of the rocker tip. Now, because of this, there's a bracket that sits right here for your fuel rail pressure sensor. This is your fuel rail pressure sensor. This is your bracket. Now, in past, we've seen people where they did not modify this and it doesn't sit down flush like it should. But all it takes is the removal of this little bracket right here. And once you remove that, the valve cover will sit down as it should. So we're going to want to take a pair of pliers and just work this clip out. And we'll do that, and I'll come back real quick and I'll show you what that looks like. But that'll ensure proper seating. So, all right, so all we did was open up this little plastic harness here, and we removed the clip. Now what that's going to do is allow this to be rotated a little bit more, and that's going to allow the valve cover to sit down as it should. But that's really the only modification that you're going to have to make for this passenger side valve cover to sit down like it should. And that also allows, because of the rail system that we've designed, that it's all machined. There have been in other cases where people have tried to modify the valve cover from the factory, and it actually blocks the oil supply because of this plastic harness right here. Ours will go on the other side of that, but just needs just that little bit of clearance. And being that it's machined, it's very repeatable, meaning that it goes right over the top of the rocker arms. It's designed that way. So we'll go ahead and install this valve cover with the valve cover gasket installed, and we'll catch you in a minute. Tell me when you're ready. Okay, so we've got the valve cover sitting up here. One thing that you want to look at is just make sure that the valve cover gasket, if you want to get a photo right here, make sure that the valve cover is sitting and the gasket is sitting and resting on the rocker carrier. That's very important. If you did not remove that clip, it will not sit down properly. So be sure that you do that. And we're just going to use the factory bolts and go ahead and just start them by hand. And that helps center. When these are machined, they accept the factory grommets, and that's what makes everything line up the way that it should. So if you're not using the factory grommets and you're using something else, then you can have some issue where it might not have proper alignment. So use a factory hardware. We'll go ahead and put all the bolts in, and we will come right back. Okay, so we're going to go ahead, and we've got the valve cover bolts already installed, and we're going to torque them down to 100 inch-pounds. So we'll finish this up and move on. Okay. So we have two fittings here. What you're going to see is this is actually an orifice that is going to be installed on this 90-degree fitting here. Okay, and it's critical that it is installed. If it's not installed, then there's absolutely nothing that's going to be regulating your oil feed to your rail. So it'll actually oversupply the oil to the rail. So this is critical, and that orifice is actually critical. So it's calculated specifically to flow a certain amount of oil to these rockers. So we're going to want to install this. This is an NPT thread. You can use some thread sealer if you want around the threads, and go ahead and install this. And then after that's installed, we're going to have another fitting yet to get us to our oil feed line. So we're going to go ahead and install these both, and gently using a thread sealer, and get that torqued. And you're going to want to use a backup wrench too, and we'll show you that in just a minute. All right, so we're going to use a 9/16 for the orifice, and also tighten up the fitting with a 1/2 inch, but just use the backup wrench when you're doing this. Okay, now that's done, we're going to go ahead and move to the other side, and you will notice that the orifice on the other side is going to be just diagonal of the passenger side valve cover. All right, so we're going to go ahead and install the valve cover gasket, and we've already done that, installed it for the driver's side. So we'll do the same thing for this that we did for the other. However, we do not have to remove the clip from the harness on this side because there is no fuel rail pressure sensor on this side. So we're just going to go ahead and install the valve cover assembly. All right. Okay, so before installing the glow plug harnesses, there's a few things that we're going to need to do. One is that we're going to want to apply a TA31, or I think Ford has changed their part number now, and it's a ZC31, but it looks like this. And it's absolutely imperative that you apply this. Using a silicone will not work. It does not adhere to the aluminum valve covers like the ZC31 does. It has a different consistency, but it's absolutely imperative so that you don't have leaks. With extra oil, you're going to wind up backing up in the head because the holes were never designed from the factory to drain back fast enough. So what we're going to want to do is we're going to do a few things on this driver's side. One, we're going to get rid of this loop because the trough for the valve cover does not accommodate for this loop. So there's a couple of clips on this portion, and we're going to unsnap those, and we're just going to remove this section of the harness so that we can install it without having this up against the trough. Secondly, we're going to use this area of the glow plug harness, and we're going to apply the ZC31 or TA31, just depending on what part number you're seeing, but you're going to want to apply that all the way around. When you do the install, if you can shoot down here, you'll see that the glow plugs are way down deep, and it's absolutely important that when you do this, this is the trickiest part of the install, but it's really not that bad. You just want to make sure that when you push in, that you actually feel the engagement of the glow plug harness itself into the glow plug. If you don't, you can come up with glow plugs that are throwing a fault code. So it's really important to feel that. You'll feel the engagement because there's a round clip that's kind of like a spark plug But anyways, it's going to engage that valve cover, or excuse me, it's going to engage that glow plug. Okay, so now we're ready to install the harness. And you'll modify the right side of the harness. There's actually a U in that that we showed earlier. You're going to wind up taking the conduit off, and that way that it'll fit in the trough. But what we're going to do is use a TA31 or a C31 that Ford calls it. This is what you'll be looking at. This is absolutely imperative that you run a bead around the outside of the glow plug grommet. If you don't, you guarantee you will have leaks based off, because this engine is never designed actually to have oil up the top, and that's the reason for the valve covers anyways. But we're going to go ahead and install a bead of TA31 or ZC31 from Ford, and it has a different consistency, so you definitely want to use this. Any other silicone or room temperature vulcanizing adhesive is not going to work for you. This is what you're going to want to use. So we'll do this and we'll show you on the first one, and then you'll just go ahead and proceed on all the others. And it is important because the glow plug harness is very deep. The glow plug itself is very deep down in the hole. So you'll feel it when it snaps on. You're just going to reach down and install, and you kind of got to feel around for it because it's like a spark plug. And you'll feel once the connector falls over the top of the actual glow plug itself. And when you do, it'll seat down and you'll feel it. And we're going to seat the boot all the way around. We can do it with a finger, with a screwdriver, but it should go ahead and seat all the way. So that's what you're going to do, and we're going to go ahead and go to the rest of them. We'll catch you when we get done with that. All right, so this is going to be the bracket from the factory, and the radius geometry is a little bit different on the aftermarket valve covers. So we're going to get rid of this, and we're actually going to go to this fabricated bracket. And in order to do so, there's a few things that you're going to want to do to make this work. And the first thing is to remove the grommets from the bolts. And it's pretty simple. Just take the grommet and you can just pop the factory grommet off. And we're going to reuse that and place that in these 4 positions. So you're going to skip the center, and we're going to put 2 in the bottom, and then obviously the 2 at the top that will match up with our bracket when we set it in place. Okay, now there's a couple of things about it. Because you have rubber here and you have steel here, we're going to want to place a washer in between, and which is really handy because the radius of this actually fits basically the radius of the washer. So it will sit in place and hold itself and kind of locate for you. So we're going to place that on all 4 sides. I'm not going to do the bottom because I'm going to have to, obviously because of gravity. So we can set that in place. Then you're going to receive, with the valve cover and the package of materials, you're going to receive these longer, and we're going to see that there's also a slight modification that we're going to need to do to the U-bracket in order to make this work. And it's very, very simple. We'll show you that and have that here in just a minute for you. All right, so next we're going to look at the U-pipe, and there's some modifications that we're going to need to make in order for it to mount to the new fabricated bracket. So what we're going to do is we're going to remove these bosses, and we can take them down even. You can do this with a grinder. You can do it with, if you have basically anything that you have at the shop, just to remove these bosses. Typically a cutoff wheel and a grinder works pretty good. So we've got this one here that's been modified. And if you want to take a look at that, basically that's what you're going to want to do. It doesn't have to be exactly like this, but it just needs to be removed. We also take some of the webbing out too, just to make it look a little bit better, but it really doesn't matter. So this is going to mount to your U-pipe. We've got slots in both sides. So this is going to be the fuel cooler side. So that's where that's going to all bolt up to. And then the bottom with these 2 bosses are left. And we'll run the bolts in from the bottom side to mount. And all you're going to do is take and install it onto the turbocharger and the extension pipe. And you're going to want to work it. So next we're going to install the feed lines to the rail. So what you're going to want to do is grab your packet of rubber washers. These are for feed lines, so it's basically an embedded rubber around a steel ring. Also, you're going to need this double banjo bolt feed line here, the banjo bolt that's going to go with it, and also you're going to have your splice for the two lines that are going to come to each side of the valve cover. So what we're going to do first is we're going to want to stack this, so because we're going to need a port that feeds
this split. So we're going to grab our washers and make sure to put the washers in between the banjo bolt and the banjo feed. So just slide that down. You can put some oil on this, it would help so that it doesn't rip when you go to tighten it up. But you're going to want to sandwich that between both feeds. So you're going to want one on top of this oil feed for the turbo, and you're going to also need one for the bottom as well. They come in a packet of 4. If you've got one left over, it's not that big a deal. But there. That's what your setup's going to look like when you get done. Now, once that's done and you want to go back through and torque this, you can, but the feed line that we're going to need to use, and you can route this multiple different ways depending on your application and setup, but you're just going to tighten this double feed as well, and then that's going to be what's going to supply our inlet for our orifice over on both sides of the valve covers on either side. I would suggest when you do route it away from the turbine housing or the exhaust housing, just for purposes of temperature. So, but that's what that's going to look like. Okay, so this video is going to be the conclusion of the valve cover install. And so the last thing that you're going to install is the standpipe. And this is a standpipe. And the purpose of this is a couple of reasons. One, it ties in the CCV that is in the bottom of the crankcase, and it'll tie into the tube. You'll notice that there's 2 different orifice sizes, the fitting sizes. The smaller one will go towards the front. The larger one will face and go towards your intake on your turbocharger. And this is for your crankcase ventilation. Now there's a third port in the very back, and you can add a barb fitting there in that is 180 degrees opposed to this front piece, and you can add another fitting and vent this to atmospheric pressure if you choose, or you can vent it to a catch can. I'm not a big fan of CCV deletes, and there's reasons for that. There's multiple reasons not to use a CCV delete, but some guys choose to do that. If that's the case and that's the route you want to go, then you're going to want to leave that port open and just get you a fitting and then run some hose, so that will accommodate that. So I hope this video is helpful. If you've got any questions, give us a call. And again, thanks for your business, and look forward to hearing from you. Thanks, guys.